Hello, welcome to the video. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at section 5.6, where we're going to be proving triangle congruence by ASA, which is angle side angle, and AAS, which is angle angle side. Essential question that they ask us here is what information is sufficient to determine whether two triangles are congruent? Well, in previous lessons we looked at uh, side side congruency, and we also looked at side angle side congruency. So this is going to complete uh, the different possibilities of determining if triangles are congruent. So these are the four. So side, 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 angle, side angle, and angle, angle, side. All right, so those are the four that have to, that are the ways that you can prove that two triangles are congruent. So looking at angle, side, angle, we can basically what has to happen is you have to be able to show, or they have to be able to tell you that you have two sets of congruent angles, and then in between those known congruent angles, or at least be able to prove that they are congruent angles, they must have a congruent side um, in between them. All right. When you look at angle angle side in this particular instance, so you have to have uh, two angles that are right next, again, right next to each other, and then the side is on the outside of it. So being able to show that that is true for angle angle side is, just like if you were to look at this like going counterclockwise. So angle angle side, angle angle side, all right, or and vice versa. So the first kind of questions is they're asking is, can the triangles be proven congruent with the given information in the diagram? And if so, state the theorem you would use. So you're either going to use one of the four. It's either going to be side, 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 angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. So looking at the first one, looks like they're asking about these two triangles right here. Okay. So it shows hash marks here and it shows hash marks here, so we know that they have a pair of congruent sides. Here they show us that they have a congruent angle. We can also make the conclusion that this angle and this angle is also going to be congruent because of vertical angles. So yes, there is enough information, and the theorem that you're going to look at is angle, angle, side. So angle, angle, side is the theorem that you would look at. For part B, looking at this umbrella, so here are my two triangles here that we're trying to show that are congruent. And by looking at it, all they show is hash marks for congruent angles, all right? They just so happen to have three congruent angles. So in this particular one, there's no angle, angle, angle theorem to show that, so there's not enough information. So I can't prove that those two triangles are congruent. Are they? Possibly, but I can't. There's not enough information to prove it. Looking at C, uh, I have this angle and this angle is congruent, and I got this angle and this angle is congruent, and they both share this side. So yes, there is enough information, and in this case, it's going to be angle, side, angle. So that's the theorem that we're going to be able to look at. Here it says, can the triangles be proven congruent with the information given in the diagram? And if so, state the theorem. So it's very similar to what we had before. Uh, as of right now, they don't show us any, um, they don't have us anything that's congruent, whether it's an angle or a side per se, but we can prove things. Because one, we have two pairs of parallel lines here in the diagram. So because of these two pairings, we can make the conclusion that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent because of alternating interior angles, by a transversal. We can also say that angle 4 and angle 2 are congruent by the same reason, alternating interior angles. And WY is shared by both of the triangles, so that is the reflexive property. So yes, we do have enough information, and just like I believe it was example C in the previous one, it is angle side angle, so it's very similar to that. We just had to show that those angles were congruent, and we were able to do so by the properties that have been given to us in previous sections. All right, so now we're going to be looking at writing some proofs. So again, we're going to be given some values, or we'll be given some statements, and then we're going to have to, in this case, we're asked to prove that triangle ADB is congruent to triangle EBC. So again, how it's written is very, very important with respect to corresponding angles and corresponding sides. So keep that in mind. Um, so again, we got our statements, we got our reasons. So let's look at statement 1. They told you that AD is parallel to EC, and they also said that BD is congruent to BC. All right, so they gave that to us, so that's given. All right, so for number 2, to help us out, all right, what I notice right off the bat is they both share that point B. So I can make the conclusion that these two angles are going to be equal to each other because they are in fact vertical angles. All right, so I can say that angle ABD is going to be congruent to angle EBC because of vertical angles. So right now I have a side and I have an angle. All right, so I either need to find another side or um, another angle. And what it's going to be is it's going to be another angle because there's no other way I can prove that uh, another side is in fact congruent. So what we're going to look at is I'm going to look at angle D right here and angle C. So I can say that for number 3, angle D is congruent to angle C. The reason why I know that is because since these two lines are parallel, that means that CD is the transversal. So this is, again, alternating interior angles. I have an angle, a side, and an angle. I have enough information to say, okay, I know that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle EBC because of angle side angle. All right. Now I would say that this particular diagram is very similar to the first this last proof we did. Again, it's going to be it's going to be angle side angle, all right? If you remember, so like they gave you this is 90 degrees, they're giving you this, then I can also say that these two angles are going to be congruent because they're vertical angles. I encourage you to write out the proof, but if you are having some struggles, please leave a comment. I'm more than happy to write out the proof, but again, just keep in mind that you're going to be using angle side angle congruency to help you prove that. Here we have, they're telling you that what HF is parallel to GK, and they're saying that angles F and angles K are right angles. They want you to prove it. So let's look here. So this one's going to be different. So this one here, since we used angle side angle for the first, I'm imagining we're going to be using angle side. Oh, my bad. Here's the statement, here's the reason. So write in our givens, HF parallel to GK, and angle F and angle K, right angles. That is given. So now what we're going to do is because FH and GK are parallel, I am going to say that this angle here is going to be congruent with this angle here. So I can say that for the second one here, whoop, let me write this better. I don't know why it was being. So I can say that angle GHK is going to be congruent to angle, I guess, FGH, because since FH and GK are in fact parallel, we have alternating interior angles. Okay. And so we have uh, two angles that are congruent. We have these right angles that they gave that to us. And then we have the alternating interior angles in this case. You could have used FHG and KGH if you wanted to. I don't think that would have mattered in this particular instance. And then I could say that HG is congruent to HG because they share that line segment due to the reflexive property. And I guess because they just said uh, that they're right angles, they didn't actually specify that they were 90 degrees. So you can just maybe just say for step 4, you can say that angle F is congruent to angle K and say something about like, I think there's a property about right angle congruency. So I got two angles. I got one side, and in this case, it looks like angle, side. So I do have enough information now to say that triangle HFG is congruent to triangle GKH because of angle side. And that is being able to prove triangle congruency by angle side angle and angle side. Hope this helps. Till next time.